Aaron Lease, Haley Smith, and I've been told it's LeRae Grove.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Coach, a few comments on the game, then we'll field questions.
I mean, it's hard to comment on after a game like that. All I can say is tonight the best team won. I always believe that in sports. You know, they won the game and we didn't do the job. I think I coached a great team, but you know, tonight just wasn't our night.
Questions?
Coach, I'll start. Definitely a tale of two halves. Close game in the first half. I hate to say it this way, but the wheels kind of came off a little bit in the second.
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
I think what they did, they kind of shook us up a little bit. They started pressing. And when they started pressing, we started getting in a little bit into a run and gun game and kind of threw us out of our sync. And they depend on teams. They're the type of team, they press you for that reason, so you'll come down and just shoot a shot rather than run your offense. We kind of fell into that trap a little bit. And then once we went down 10, we held it at 10, but it's a hard hole to get out of.
So once that hole was dug, though, your girls fought hard to try to get back in it.
Yeah.
A lot of effort there at the end.
Yeah, they didn't quit. They did everything we asked them to. I felt, we worked on denying the ball and fouling. They did a good job of that. They just happened to make their foul shots. And, I think if it was a 4 or 5 point game, it would have been much different, but 10 points is just too much to come back from. Well, actually, it was more like 12 or 14 points. It was one of them things where that type of thing at the end of the game works a lot, but when you're in a hole that hard, it's hard to get out of it.
Steve, first year coaching, you guys had a lot to deal with this year, injury-wise and all that. How would you sum up your first season?
Well, I liked it a lot. I mean, I thought the girls played hard all season. No one kicked our ass all season. I mean, we were a good team, and we were in every game. And I can honestly say if we lost a game, we never quit on the floor. So I was proud of my team most of the year. I never was disappointed in them. At parts in a game, I might have called them in and yelled them, told them this or that, and been upset with them. But at the end, most cases, teams that played us knew we were there.
Haley, you're the only senior on the stage, and you've had a remarkable career, not just in basketball, but all other sports in Frankfort. How would you sum up this whole experience? You still have track to go. I know that.
Yeah, definitely. It's been memorable, and I'll never take any of it for granted. That's for sure. I play with in all the sports the best teammates. They're always there for each other. They always have my back. And so hopefully that can continue on for my last season in track, and hopefully next year just the team effort and all the aspects, it stays through till these guys graduate, and even the freshmen as they're going up through as well.
And this goes to Aaron and LeRae. You're not underclassmen, but you both are back next year. So, what is the experience of this year getting to Charleston do for you propelling into next season?
Good.
Well, we just said in the hallway, third time's a charm. We're hoping to be back next year. And
In the off season, it means a lot to work hard as a team and to be together, even in the off season, just working hard with each other. We love each other. We're going to miss our seniors, but now it's our turn to come back and keep the tradition going and coming back in Charleston. So,
Coach, how detrimental was the ending to the first half? That last minute there kind of seemed to take a little bit of wind out of your sails.
It did. I mean, it's amazing in a basketball game. It's, 8 minutes a quarter, but it's amazing how something tiny can really change the pace of a game. I don't think it was the one factor that made us lose the game, but, any close game, little things mean a lot, So, it's just, it is what it is at this point,
Coach, was there a sense, fourth time playing Petersburg, was that just kind of an ugh feeling?
No, I think all the girls were up for it. They really were, We came out strong. We played strong. We had how many turnovers was it?
13. First half.
Well, first half, 27. It's hard to win a game when you have 27 turnovers. It really is. And I'm not saying they did a bad job, and but when you do that in a game, in a close game, it's tough to win. It really is. But, it is what it is at this point. I'm happy with them. I can't be disappointed the way they played. They played hard as they could. They dug a little hole for themselves, but they didn't quit.
New coach, you're in Charleston. This team, does it continue or has it continued that successful Frankfort legacy and giving you momentum in the future.
It is. I look forward to next year. We're going to be a much different team than we are this year. We might be a little bit slower, but we're going to be a lot bigger. I think we're going to be a strong team, rebounding, and I think it's kind of, what Frankfort does. We get here, and I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they got to the second game. Our whole season, I think I've told them, maybe not every day, but I've told them I wanted to win that first game here. I don't want to come here and lose that first game. So that was disappointing to me. But next year, I believe we'll be here again. But my goal is to get into them second and third games. That's what we're trying to do next year.
And not to make excuses or anything, I'm just curious, Haley and Lorraine, how, your injury-wise, were you feeling that out there?
Me personally, it has felt a lot better than it has before. The adrenaline kind of just pushes that pain out, and you don't really feel it when you're in there. I will say it was a little sore, but I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, same. The adrenaline definitely takes over, and it doesn't bother me until, like afterwards you feel it. But,
take your shoe off.
Yeah. But other than that, there was really nothing that I felt during the game.
And Aaron, you, with the last game of this game, you really finished the year strong. Do you feel like you have a lot of confidence going into next year?
100%, and especially with off-season coming, we know we're going to put in as much work as we can, just build on what we already have, personally and as a team.
Any further questions? All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
Hey, members of the media, we got Petersburg High School head coach John Webster, players Brayley Corbin, Kennedy Capozzi, and Mackenzie Kitzmiller. Coach, a few comments on the game, then we'll field questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought this game was a lot like what we've seen throughout the season, where we played 3 times, once at each other's place, once on a neutral site. A lot the same in terms of effort from both teams, physicality. Not always the prettiest, but we're not as concerned with pretty as we are with winning. So we're happy with the outcome. Frankfort is a really solid ball club, and we knew we were going to have to play well to beat them. And I thought the key was the third quarter. I thought our defensive pressure was as good as I've seen it, and the effort just from every girl that played in that quarter was fantastic. And I thought that was the difference in the game.
Questions?
Coach, I asked the Frankfort coach this question, and no complaints from anybody, but when you saw it would be Frankfort again for the 4th time, was there this ugh feeling? Can we get somebody else? Or?
I don't know that it was a complaint. There's definitely something where, you go to the state tournament, you expect to see a team from somewhere else that you've never seen before. But that's a sectional rival, so anytime we're going to get an opportunity to play a good ball club like that, then it means that we got a chance to advance to the semifinals. I think we're just excited to be at the state tournament and be here and compete, and whoever it is, that's who it is.
His response was that his girls were up for Petersburg, I guess you all were up for Frankfort, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the second straight year you guys are now in the state semis. Obviously, I have to imagine that's a good feeling. What did you take from this last experience that maybe helped you guys this time?
Well, there was a lot less new, and that was definitely a little bit comforting, because to me in these scenarios it's about who can be comfortable. And last year we had to go over the post-game interview process. We had to talk about how we're going to do introductions at the beginning of the game, and all that stuff is just so new when you've not been here. And so that part was all familiar. And I think that was a huge thing, is just getting comfortable being out of the routine. Playing basketball at 11:15 on a Tuesday is not normal. So can we find some type of normalcy in this situation? And I think the girls did a great job in terms of when we arrived last night. We're here to have fun, but when it's time to play basketball, we're ready to be focused and play basketball. And so how easily can you flip that switch? I thought the girls did a great job.
And for the players, you guys weren't necessarily like senior leaders or anything last year, obviously, because you wouldn't be here. But now coming back and it being your second season, making it here, how much did that kind of calm you guys out on the court?
Well, in the beginning, we were pretty nervous, but once we all realized that it's basketball and we just have to enjoy the moment and everything, it helped a lot.
I think that just coming back, it just helped to know that we knew what we needed to do. We knew that we needed to get out there and just play, and we weren't as nervous as last year, so it helped with that.
It was a familiar experience for all of us, so I think that also helped us coming into this year. It was not a completely new experience.
Coach, you mentioned you thought the third quarter was the key. Mm-hmm. How important was the last 45 seconds of the first half, though? I think you turned maybe only a 4 or 5 point deficit into a tie game, but as you're coming off the court, your heads are kind of high. You guys are feeling pretty good, and it kind of seemed like they had a little bit of wind taken out of their sails in that little 2-3 possession stretch.
Absolutely. I think the last minute of the second quarter was probably the turning point in the game for us. We were down 2, I remember, and we scored a basket, and then Kennedy here got a steal, and that put us up 2 as we're going into the half. And so even though we weren't down emotionally at that time, I thought that gave us a big lift going into the locker room, and you could just feel that, okay, everything's all right. We're playing basketball. This is just like when we played at Frankfort or when we played at home or when we played at Moorfield or whatever. It's just a different arena. And so we kind of carried some of that energy into the second half, and it led to that big third quarter for us.
And Kennedy, you started a little bit slow, but you had that 4-point stretch there at the end of the first half. I'm not saying you were down or anything before that, but did that kind of give you a little jolt there, getting that first basket to fall and then following that up with the layup?
Yes, I think it just, not just for me, just for the whole team, it even gave us all some confidence to get back into it. I wasn't completely down, but I just think it helped me too to get some confidence back.
Coach, your hallmark has always been hustle. Anytime I cover a Petersburg game, I talk about that. Certainly that was on full display here in the third quarter. How much of your defensive philosophy is just hustle? How much of it is, do you teach disruption? Because you guys do a lot of disrupting, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, we've worked on a couple different presses. We work on different coverages, and this is one area where playing Frankfort, a familiar team, we knew a lot of the things that we're going to try to do offensively. So we didn't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel, but we did look at ways that we could guard the pick and roll that we hadn't done so far against them, just to, like you said, disrupt what it is that they're trying to do. So it's about trying to make people uncomfortable, and a lot of times that means making them play fast, but it doesn't have to. It just might mean making them do the things that they don't normally want to do. And I thought we did a good job of creating some frustration, especially in the second half.
And if you're willing to share, what about guarding? You mentioned guarding the pick and roll. What did you do there?
So we planned to do some of this stuff actually in the sectional final, but then we got foul trouble. And so we had to use a lot of zone defense, and I don't know if Coach prepared us to play a zone or not today. It seems like sometimes when you become really familiar with a team, then you maybe overanalyze, or you think you know what they're going to do, and then they do something different. But I don't know how he prepared for us. Maybe expected a zone because that's what we played in the last time. But we did use a lot of switches. We did use some hedging on those ball screens. And they made some of the right plays. They got some decent looks. We were just fortunate that they didn't capitalize on them. I remember Grove had a really nice look at a three, either late in the third or early in the fourth, and it just didn't go. They made the perfect decisions, and it just sometimes it's about making them do stuff, and other times you just get lucky and they miss a shot. So it's a little bit of both.
And going forward, you likely have a pretty big test ahead of you. How are you feeling about that game?
Well, right now we're excited that we get to play again, and we've had the opportunity to we've been eliminated by the state champs the last 3 years, whether that was at Fairmont Senior. North Marion was the 1 seed, and then COVID shut down the state tournament, and last year we were eliminated by Wyoming East. So we know the level that we're going to have to play at from what we've seen the past couple of years, if that is Parkersburg Catholic. And if it's Buffalo, it means they're pretty doggone good, too, for them to beat Parkersburg Catholic. So we know we're going to face a quality opponent. We're going to have to shoot the ball a little bit better than we did today. We're going to have to take care of the ball a little bit better than we did today. And we're going to have to shoot it from the free throw line better. But more than anything, we get another chance to play. And so we'll go out and play as hard as we can and hope things end in our favor.
One quick question to end this, I hope. What do you think about your, I guess for lack of a better term, your little sisters in Grant County Union? I mean, you got to be happy for those guys.
Oh, this was a fantastic week for Grant County schools. For us to be able to make it to the state tournament, it was exciting. But then for Union, who's never had a girls program make it, I think the boys had been here before, but for them to come as well, I saw a bunch of Union because I actually work at both schools, and so I saw a lot of Union people in the crowd. And they were cheering for us, and they already know we're coming back at 5:30 this evening to cheer for Union, and so there's going to be a lot of red and black. Yeah, that's right. That's one of the benefits of both schools in the county having the same colors. So, we're really excited for them, and we're going to be their number one fans, and we hope that they can get to play on semifinal Thursday.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Any further questions? All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.